Good evening, everyone. All called to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, March 26, 2026. I'd like to invite Pastor Charles Cochran from East Ridge Church of Christ. If you'll come forward, provide our invocation, and lead us in our pledge. If everyone would stand if able.
Father, we are so grateful that we can come to you in prayer tonight. As citizens of this wonderful city that we love, the city of East Ridge, we know that your precious word teaches us to pray for those who are in positions of leadership in government. I want to pray for Mr. Williams, our mayor, and all of those men and women who sit on this city council, that you'll be with these who are making decisions for our city, that you will guide and help them, Father, with wisdom to make the best decisions. Holy Father, we are also concerned about our nation tonight, the wars that are going on in the Middle East, for our president and our soldiers and all of those who are involved in this conflict. We pray, Father, that there will be a quick end to these struggles and to this war, and that peace can reign upon the earth, and that there'll be greater blessings that will result in the peace that we seek from you and for your will to be done. Father, also I want to pray tonight for our first responders, our policemen and firemen and their families, and all that they do to keep us safe. Bless each of these, Father, also tonight. We're thankful for your Son. We're thankful for your love. We're thankful for your precious word as it guides and leads us in the way you would have us to walk. May we be pleasing to you in all that we do. We pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Here.
Councilmember Cagle,
Here.
Councilmember Ezell,
Here.
Councilmember Witt,
Here.
Interim City Manager Williams, City Attorney Litchford.
Here. Right, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda. So that would be the approval of the minutes from March 12, 2026 meeting and declaration of surplus property. So I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review those, and I'll entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. If we have any discussion or corrections. I'll send in a roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Consent agenda approved. We'll move to the next item, which is communications from citizens. This is an opportunity for any citizen to come forward with any questions, concerns, or accolades, and each person will have up to 5 minutes. So the first we have signed in is Sabrina Daniel. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I have something that they will want to hear. This is just a friend who's a witness. Do I give it to you, Jennifer, to be passed around for them to see? Or do I just do it myself?
I can take it that way. You can
Okay,
talk
all
as
right,
it
I'll
passes.
need it back.
Thank you.
Well, my name is Sabrina Daniel. I've lived in East Ridge for 20 total years. I live at 4410 Maryland Drive. I'm running for the school board. I am a born-again Christian, a conservative Republican, and I'm running hard. And so my story is that on Friday at 3 o'clock, I got my signs. So on Saturday, a group of 9 of us got together, put the signs together, got directions, which I had been given. Well, back up a little bit. I found out the hard way that I had to have a permit to put out signs. The way I found that out was I'd been passing out stuff outside of Food City, which I thought was legal. Found out it's not a parking lot. Followed a police officer to ask him that. He said, yeah, that's right. It's not legal, and you need to go get a permit. That was the first time I'd ever heard of it, and I didn't know. I wouldn't have known otherwise. So I went straight to the town hall. I spoke to a woman who's here in the audience right there, and I signed the piece of paper that you see. When I signed it, I was the first person to sign it. Since then, obviously, another gentleman has signed it. That's a copy of it. You can find the real thing in her office, and that I came in and said that that's what I needed, and that's what she gave me. So we put out signs on Saturday. I gave them all the directions. I had a different ordinance, but I got this one back from Mr. Howell about the details, which, as far as I can see, small signs, 5 feet from the curb or 5 feet from the sidewalk. 4x4 signs, 10 feet from the curb, 10 feet from the sidewalk. The folks who put these out are in their 20s and 60s, or in their 60s and 70s. They're not junior high kids who can't follow directions. No, I didn't go out with all of them. That's not how campaigns work. I did drive down Ringo Road and back up when everything was put up. There were no signs that blocked any view for the driver, and there were no signs that were so close to the sidewalk where people would trip. So Sunday afternoon, I checked my signs to see that the wind hadn't blown them down. They were all fine. Tuesday afternoon, I checked my signs, and I have no signs. So I went to the police department, and I filed a complaint or an order, or whatever you call it, with them. And they're working on it. I'm supposed to check with them again tomorrow. And in the process, I just came over to the town hall to make sure, our public works weren't somehow involved in this. And so I asked to speak to your head, who is Mr. Howell. Mr. Pettyjohn came out, and I put my hand out to shake his hand, and I said, I'm Sabrina Daniel and oh, you're Sabrina. We took up all your signs. You didn't have a permit. And I said, yes, sir, I did have a permit. So we talked for a little while, and I said, I believe I still need to speak with your boss, Mr. Howell. So we sat down, we talked. Then instead of the permit issue came up, all of a sudden I hadn't placed signs correctly. Now, the information that I read before said, which I was really excited about because I was worried, that you would get a phone call if there was a problem with a sign. Well, I got no phone calls, and I got the shock of my life, as I've already said, what happened. So what do I want here? Bottom line, what satisfies? I haven't gone to an attorney. I haven't called the press. I'm hoping we can work this out. I just want my signs put back. It was a mistake from y'all's side, and I don't have to have an apology or anything. I just want my signs put back. I'm being told that I have to get a truck. I don't own a truck. I have to get a truck. I have to get the signs. I have to move them. I have to put them back out. Since it wasn't my fault, as far as I can see, I didn't do anything wrong. That's my request. And, I pray that it will work that way. If not, then I will speak to some of the people that I mentioned earlier. So I don't know if you have questions, you want me to respond to something, I'll be happy to do that.
So, first of all, I have been an elected official since 2016.
Okay.
I've had signs taken up as well because I've missed calculations on where the sign needs to be. So that's not uncommon. It's not uncommon just for political signs, but it also occurs for other signage as well. You should have been provided in your packet from the Election Commission. You should have been provided ordinance number 1016. We make sure that they hand that out whenever you go and pick up your papers to be signed. So if that did not occur, we need to talk with the Election Commission.
Well, and I'm not saying, I'm not here to swear that that did not occur. I did look over all the material. I did glanced through all the material. It's a big fat booklet, and there's a lot to be done. So I did glance over all the material. I didn't see it. That may have been my bad. I will tell you and it's not, I'd be doing this if it were any party. I would be sitting out there saying this is just principle. But two people have said to me, which bothers me because I grew up here, that not y'all, but in general in the past, the thing I have is signed 10 years ago by Brent Lambert.
Yeah, it's an ordinance that's still in fact.
Okay.
Whether it was signed in 2016 or not, it hasn't, to my knowledge, it hasn't been amended or adjusted, so it's still
Okay.
valid, and,
All right.
and that's what we adhere to.
What was stated to me from people who have been around politics about 50 years, two different people, and it really embarrasses me and makes me sad if it's true. They said East Ridge has a tendency to flex their muscles about signage, and it's happened before.
Hold on just a second.
Okay, I'll just leave it.
I'll let you chime in. We're not flexing any muscle. We are adhering to a policy and an ordinance that is stated since 2016. I have been impacted by this.
I have to.
Okay,
I have to.
okay. Every one of us up here has, and I apologize that it occurred. It's occurred to everyone sitting up here on this dais.
Multiple times. I also had
And-
to go pick them up.
Well, yeah,
Then I had to
exactly.
Well, of
Put 'em
course,
back
you have
out
to pick
myself,
up your own
actually.
signs.
Correct.
I
They
understand
pull
that.
them and you come back up here and get them and go put
They're in
them
a
back out.
closet.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my last comment is then this ordinance needs to be, if I were the mayor, this ordinance would be relooked at.
So we don't have a problem looking at that, but the safety and welfare of where signage is placed, I think, is the spirit of this. I don't know if you want to comment any additional there, Mr. Attorney.
We see this just about every year.
I can't hear you.
We see this about every year,
Thank you.
every election, and so, given the fact that the premise of this entire ordinance relates to the health, safety, and welfare of visualization, signalization of road structure right of way, the staff of the code enforcement is instructed to remove signage because of the impact it has on transit vehicles, and so, but you're welcome to put those back up, provided that it complies with this ordinance. I think if I hear it right, it's happened to not just this body, but just about every political member that campaigns. But certainly you can do that and put them back up.
Well, my fear is we're gonna put them back up and they're not gonna please you again.
Ma'am,
The
it's not
the
about
spirit-
pleasing.
the
Ma'am,
spirit-
Ma'am, it's not about pleasing. It's about following the ordinance. It's about following the ordinance. It's not flexing a muscle and it's not pleasing. It has to follow the ordinance to the T. That is what we're having to abide by.
Okay. I've
Now,
also
if-
been told by some legal people that you all can't set up, a campaign person can put out a sign and you can't prevent that. And so I also see signage on poles that advertise commercial stuff. I don't see any of that being taken down.
Well, I would encourage you that to the extent that you see that, then,
Report it.
get the address and make sure to take a photograph and report it. The code enforcement bases its efforts in large part on complaint-based responses. There's 3 code enforcement officers in a city of 24,000, so they are out on the streets constantly. They can't catch everything, but if there are complaints that are filed, they will then duly act on those to, cure anything that they find to be in violation of it, including removing those signs as well. So if you've got some, please definitely take a photograph
Well,
and send it to us.
and the police, I was suggested to them, my treasurer person, wife suggested you need to tell them to check cameras. So my guess will be when you check the camera at Germantown and Ringgold, you will find a public works person hopping out of the car, pulling up the sign. You won't find him measuring every single sign. There were 15 signs out. So,
If you want to give your name
Yeah,
and
you need
address.
to give your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, I was with Sabrina during this process, and
Ma'am, can I get your name and address?
my
for the
name's Melanie Stover. I live at 4620 Florida Avenue.
record? Thank you.
And I was at her house on that Saturday when we were getting together to put the signs out. Okay, she had this ordinance, and we read it, that she had 4x4 signs. It was very clear they needed to be 10 foot from either the sidewalk or the curb, whichever was the closest. So my job was to get strings, and I gave every volunteer a string that was 10 foot long, and I put a knot in the middle, 5 foot. So they would know that yard signs had to be at least 5 foot and 4x4 signs had to be 10 foot. And so we went over all of that. And I guess I'm surprised that, I would like to see the footage too, to see if it was measured. Because we were very clear with every volunteer. We gave each one of these strings and told them exactly that they had to put those 4x4 signs at least 10 feet from the sidewalk if it was closest, or the curb, whichever was there. So that's what surprises me. And also the fact that the first thing said was you don't have a permit, when she did have a permit. And because we had this to read and we knew what the rules were. So that's just my statement. And also that they took the phone number and her email and could have very easily contacted her and said, we've got a problem with your signs. But that wasn't done. That's all I have to say.
With some of these signs at the kind of a corner and intersection,
Sir?
some of these signs at a corner or intersection of two
The-
roads.
Yes.
Yeah, and there it's a 25 foot.
25 foot. That's item,
In the
that's section
ordinance.
3 of 2403.
Okay, so at the corner of Germantown and Rango Road, it's 25 feet?
Yes.
Well, that's not even able to be seen. But anyway,
But that's a safety.
I just need to get my paper back, and I assume that this is a no. So my next steps are to find a truck and put those signs back out. I'd appreciate it if they were not picked up. I am a teacher. I know a lot about education. I'm a good candidate. The person who's worked 50 years in this said these are very confusing. So I'll just end with that. And I'm sorry for your decision.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, I believe that is the only one that is signed in. Is there anyone else that, in the audience would like to come forward this time? This is your opportunity. Yes, ma'am. If you use your name and address for the record.
My name is Megan Gilbert. I live at 3901 Weldon Drive, and I apologize. I got in like right at 6.
That's okay.
I just wanted to. I understand that the city is working on a food truck policy, and my husband and I run a food truck and live here in Eastridge, and so I can't always make it to these meetings, and so I just wanted to extend. That if we can contribute in any way and offer any insight, we would love to do so. And so I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. We have actually had several sessions where we've discussed that. I believe it's come,
The planning commission.
so planning commission is going to be. So
When's the planning commission meeting on this? Okay.
It's a Monday.
Let me just give it. So, Ms. Wilburn, the next one would be Monday, April 6th. And at that point, there will be an opportunity during that planning commission for citizen comments. So if you want to have some stuff at that point, the ordinance will be available on the website. The proposed ordinance, it's not been adopted yet, but it's a proposed ordinance. And at that point, if you've got, we support and welcome any citizen feedback they want to provide during the comment time at that period.
The meeting starts at 5:30.
Okay.
Put that on your calendar.
And do I need to do anything ahead of time in order to speak?
no,
Okay. Thank you.
no ma'am. Thank you. Is there anyone else? I don't see anyone, so I'll move to the next item, which is communication from council members. I'll start on this side. Councilmember Cagle.
I don't have anything tonight, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Tyler.
Nothing for me, Mayor.
Councilmember Witt.
Nothing.
Councilmember Rizzo.
Only thing I've had is people call wanting to know, is there somewhere close to a Timeline Scooters is gonna be open? So I said, I'll find out. That was the question I get.
Well, I'm not sure yet. I know we had the IDB meeting was scheduled for this week, but it had to be postponed. We didn't have a quorum, so we're having to get it rescheduled. And do we have is that next week on Monday. So that is for the Board of Region Development Agreement. And I don't have a tentative, unless you've heard, or you heard a tentative schedule, but I know they've torn down the existing building, but
Do we know about, I mean,
do we have anything?
to the
in-
extent that there's a Board of Region requirement, agreement, it will have an obligation there within 12 months.
Yeah, I'll tell them 12
Yeah, I know,
months.
yeah.
I
mean,
expected to be
that
way,
doesn't quite get
way
you
quicker
answered.
from that. I spoke to him when he was here, and he wanted to wait until the road was completed instead of having
Right.
construction going there, and they were using his parking lot for staging for some of the materials. So, but I think he was going to move quite quick on it.
Yeah, I'll just add that they were supposed to go before the IDB this week. Once we reschedule the meeting, it'll go on the agenda for council approval. They're looking to open to the public before the end of this year, calendar year.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will add one more thing. I did happen to see a codes person measuring for signs today, just in case somebody thinks we don't measure. I seen a person with a tape measure measuring and then pull the sign. So sometimes people, they need to read some instructions and learn how to do things.
Especially if they want to be an elected official where we have higher standards.
All right. Anything else, sir?
No.
All right. So I always like to talk about several items, so you always have to listen to me a little bit longer. So Parks and Rec, it's very busy around our park. We've got all kind of activity. We've kicked off another exciting season for all our sports activities. We're welcoming our players and families and fans back with soccer, flag football, softball, baseball, t-ball, cheerleading. So very exciting things going on in the park, along with all kind of activities going on in the arena. Also have a lot of things going on in Venue 1921, so check that out. The library, they're accepting shoe boxes that you don't need, so they can give out to upcoming PEEP contest. And then they have Little Sprouts Gardening Club meets the second and fourth Wednesday. This is March through July 11 to 12, ages 5 to 11. Then there's Baby Time Bounce and Rhyme that's meeting Friday at 11:30 for newborn up to 2 years old for caregivers for stories and songs and rhymes for the babies and toddlers. Then they'll do watercolor with Rachel on the second Thursday of the month from 3:30 to 4:30. All ages are welcome for this step-by-step class. They do ask you to register at 423-867-7323 for that activity. And then our animal shelter. It's prime dog walking weather around this time of year. So they'd love you to get out and spend some time with our shelter dogs. You can take a dog between 8 and 10, which is during their cleaning session, or from 10 to 4:30 while they're open. If you do plan to come early, from 8 to 10 a.m., then just let them know that you're on the way so they can make arrangements for you. But get out and enjoy the fresh air and enjoy the pets and make a shelter dog's day. That is all that I have, so I'll hand it off to Interim City Manager Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few things to do. The insulation will be installed at the new animal shelter, wood space above the ceiling, starting April the 1st. During the construction phase of that, it was not insulated. We caught that. Police chief also brought that to our attention, so we got 3 quotes on that, so they'll be taken care of on April the 1st. Thank you, sir.
We can hear you better now.
What about now? Can you hear me? Let me start over. No. Very good. All right. We did have a complaint from one of our council members of a water leak in front of the History Museum. Our building maintenance jumped on this very quick. Notified Tennessee American. The water leak was on the Tennessee American side, so there's no issue with that currently. The merry-go-round at Pioneer Frontier has been repaired, back in service. Kids are on it. Had a citizen complain on a road being damaged over on State Line. We contacted Catoosa County, went over and looked at it, contacted Catoosa, talked to the road department. That is a contractor issue with Catoosa County. They're going to make that repair even though it's in Tennessee. Chattanooga and our traffic shop have been working all week on synchronizing all the traffic signals on Ringo Road. We may still have a few little issues to work out, but for the most part, they're in a good testing phase of that currently, and are monitoring for any adjustments that may need to be needed. Building construction repairs have been completed at Station 1 from the accident with a vehicle running into Station 1. I reached out and contacted Safe Haven Baby Boxes. They have sent down tests for all the firemen to do a online test training. We send those back, and then they will give us some dates. Once they provide those dates, I'll bring that back and forth, or back to the council, and see if we can all come together on a date for the blessing on the box. And then the box will go in service. The resurfacing project, we've got a meeting set up Thursday, April the 2nd on it. Once I attend that meeting, I'll know more on where they're going to start, what the priorities are. We'll get with the street department, look at what we had last year and didn't get finished, and we'll continue that project. Springville Park kickoff meeting was held today, this morning about 9:30. I'd like to ask Cameron if he would come up and give us a little update on that, please.
Yes, Mayor and Council. This morning, Interim City Manager Williams, Shauna, and ASA Engineering, along with our finance department, met to discuss the beginning stages of phase 1 of the Springville Park redevelopment project, which will include a 3-section dog park, roughly about 2 acres, and it'll have 2 large areas and a small dog area. We'll have the same type of setup for amenities, fountains, benches, some shaded areas. And then we're also looking at resurfacing and resealing the existing parking lot to restripe, add some additional signage there to uplift the area, as well as install some surveillance security system so that we can watch the community center, and along with some of Shauna's staff down at Camp Jordan will monitor that until we can figure out what it looks like as far as staffing or some type of attendant for that area. And then additionally, we're looking at 2 different options for add alternates on the bid specifications to include a ADA accessible restroom facility, and then a potential for a small pavilion that would fit anywhere from 4 to 6 picnic tables. We're also looking at the opportunity for well water to be a well to be installed to utilize rainwater for irrigation and to water the existing dog areas. When we close one area, we can relocate the families over to repair the grass. And then the last component would be a walking trail around the park. It would be some type of paved pathway that's approved within the FEMA or within the flood area per FEMA regulations. So we're in the beginning phases of preliminary design, but once we have some bid specs together along with a plan, we'll be sure to share it for your review and comment.
Thank you. Also, I think it's pretty much been addressed this evening, but I'm going to reiterate. We're starting to see a lot of political signs with the upcoming elections. I'd like to remind all the candidates with upcoming elections that the City of East Ridge has an ordinance relative to the timing, placement of political signs on city and private property. Each candidate is provided a copy from either City Hall or the Election Commission. Ordinance 1016 is our code enforcement, that's ordinance 1016. If our code enforcement finds any political signs in violation, those signs are pulled and taken to City Hall. As the Miss Daniel was discussing about her signs, they are here at City Hall. They've not been damaged. In this ordinance, it provides a definition of political signs, how it's regulated through the city on property, private property, and as well as city property. So I think everything's been pretty much laid out, and just wanted to, add a little bit to that. Just a reminder to put that out to everybody with all the upcoming elections that are going on. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, the next item is old business, which we have done, so then we'll move straight into new business. Item A, resolution number 3801.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for services for Brian Coral to become city manager of the city of East Ridge.
Thank you, sir. I'll let you kick this off, but also welcome Mr. Coral to the audience and here in attendance. So excited to have him here.
Members of the council, mayor, this, you have a resolution before you here relative to the employment agreement. If you recall, at the last meeting that we had here, the directions given to me were to reach out to Mr. Coral and to negotiate terms that are acceptable. I have spoken several times with Mr. Coral, as well as individually with each of the council members. Each of you all had different opinions, ideas about it, and ultimately what I was able to do is take collectively all of the ideas and comments of this body, take them to Mr. Coral. Mr. Coral has looked at them and reviewed them, and the key terms that have been essentially discussed, but I'll put them out here right now. Base salary here would be starting at 156 during the first year that city manager position. There would be up to $1,500 available of reimbursement for what did I say?
1,500.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at it here. No, it's 15,000. Excuse me. 15,000. Up to 15,000 for reimbursable. That's Mr. Coral and I've talked, and that would be things that would relate to reimbursements with receipts to be provided. And retirement is the same consistent that we've had for prior city managers. It would be up to 10%, and then it can go into the two options there that are available for the retirement there, TCRS or the ICMA. We've got automobile allowance of $600 per month, cell phone of $75 per month. Some other things that we've talked about and want to make sure we key in on is this provides for under state law, there's 1 year of which a city manager, unless it's for cause, cannot be removed. Subject to that, then afterwards the severance would be a 5-month severance of base salary. And then upon the completion of the second anniversary of this agreement, so 2028, whatever the effective date of this would be, and one time only 1 month addition severance of base pay at that rate. So in other words, it would move to 6 months is what would be available for any severance for no cause of removal of the city manager. The resignation request would be in here would be 30 days advance notice from Mr. Coral if he were to resign. And then the other one is on the paid leave. In talking to Mr. Coral, and this was in a prior city manager one, was 21 days of vacation paid leave, and the others had some degree of sick pay as well. What Mr. Coral said is, he said, I want consistent with what the handbook is. And so if you'll see in your agreement here, there are talks there about, in section paragraph 18, there is currently, as adopted as of March 27, 2025, an employees rules and regulation handbook. And so any sick leave would be provided in accordance with that handbook, which I believe is 8 hours per month. Yeah. And that's consistent with all the full-time employees. Additionally, this agreement, there would be, at the anniversary date of this agreement, there would be a review period for the services of the city manager, and then any raise for base salary or any other benefits that were provided to full-time employees would apply to this position. In talking to Mr. Coral, he said, look, I want to be consistent with other full-time employees. He sees himself as one that is a servant of those heads and the other employees of the city. That's what he said he wanted to be. So that's what's provided in the benefits, and you'll see that into the section 9 of the agreement. And so it would just be consistent. Excuse me. I'm sorry. compensation, excuse me, paragraph 7, excuse me. The only change that I want to make in here, and I should have caught this, is in paragraph 5, it talks about implicit terms of the agreement. Let me make sure, and we're all clear on this. Under both state law 621-108 as well as the city charter 5-1, the duties and powers of the city manager are delineated in those respective locations. Again, that's TCA 621-108, and then in the city charter at 5I. The contract provides in there that the city manager is to provide the duties pursuant to the charter, and then also in the end of the agreement there it talks about, and it says that the terms of the agreement shall be construed inconsistent with Tennessee, and as well as the parties here agree that all duties shall be performed in accordance with Tennessee applicable law. So that's TCA 621-108. That's a long way of saying what I would suggest to you all, and if I'm proposing it, is on paragraph 5, you'll see where it says that the duties that may be required of the city manager pursuant to the express and implicit terms of this agreement. Just take out the words "and" implicit. It just says pursuant to the express terms of this agreement. And again, this agreement provides that the duties would be pursuant to the charter and applicable Tennessee law. So I think it's unambiguous as to what those requirements are. It identifies that, and it just removes any ambiguity that may exist here. And for a best practices standpoint, you don't want to have that. I should have caught it, and I didn't. So.
Thank you, sir. All right, council. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3801.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3801.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
There's a lot of discussion. I read one word there, Mark.
I see none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3801 approved. Congratulations, sir. Anything you would like to say? You have 5 minutes or less. No, I'm kidding.
Brian Coral, 6004 Northwest 70th Court, Kansas City, Missouri. Mayor and members of the council, thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to becoming a part of the community of East Ridge, getting to know our staff, getting to know our citizens, and serving you and working together in partnership going forward. So really excited to get going. Thank you.
Same here. Thank you, sir, very much.
Thank
We're
you.
excited. All right, we'll move to item B, resolution number 3802.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the mayor's designee to enter into a professional services agreement with MCS Facility Services to provide cleaning services at venue 1921 at East Ridge.
Thanks, sir. This is, you presenting this?
I am not. Tara is here,
I
but I
think
believe she
Sure.
stepped out. Michelle is getting.
I can,
There.
Okay.
okay. One of the things, I can sort of speak to this while she's getting prepared up here. Councilman Cagle pointed out something, and I think it's worth noting here. While the resolution provides here that it's enter into a professional services agreement, what really, as I understand it, Tara Ms. Villan can confirm here, but this was sort of a memorandum of intent for us to go back and negotiate terms
Correct,
with this out.
correct.
And so really it's a little bit different. A lot of times we get the contract brought to us and then we vote on it. This one went out pursuant to a request for qualifications, and so those were all received. I think what Ms. Villand is here to present here is that this was the one identified and would suggest that the council authorize Ms. Villand and me to negotiate with this outfit and come back with an actual agreement, Councilman Cagle. So I'd like to have some discussion, but what I might suggest to you is on this resolution 3802 is that we modify it to enter into negotiations relative to a professional services agreement. And that way we make it clear the packet there is not in fact the agreement. Those are kind of some outline terms that they are proposing, and then Ms. Villand and I will go and negotiate an actual contract.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The reason why I asked that question is like on page 1 of this and the gent memorandum there, down on about middle way down the page, it's listing ability to perform high seasonal window cleaning. How much are they gonna charge for that? Then the next thing is pricing based on actual work completed. All right, when's the work gonna be completed?
Yeah,
You know, there. Then the next one is the major facility maintenance. So they're gonna be doing all of this?
no, sir. Not at all times.
Okay.
If you want to finish your questions, I'll answer them all at the same time.
Okay, and then here it says additional support service, including the laundry and the specialty cleaning. Then over here on, let's see. Looks like it's gonna be, the page is listed pricing structure.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's got hourly rate structure, $23 per hour per staff. And then it says a minimum of $69 per request. And then right down below it, it says recommending cleaning fee, $450.
Yes, sir.
All right?
I understand how it's
And
confusing.
right above it, it says $350 per event. So what are we gonna be charged?
I understand where you're coming from.
I mean,
This particular document is what they are sending to me based on the requests that we made. And so what we're seeing here, let me start from the beginning, if that's good. Also, good evening, everyone. Hi, sorry for being late. New girl. Yes, so let's go over the first page here on the memorandum, and thank you for clarifying that. Turn that forward. Just so we know, right here it says, when we're talking about this particular company, we interviewed all 4 of the companies. They, most of them were very highly qualified. However, MCS, with their background in events particularly, along with commercial cleanings with spaces such as the Tivoli, Memoriam, their references, everything, and their pricing for hourly rates. Also the ability to work with us as we're growing in a new venue. That is why I'm suggesting that we go with them to enter in to formal negotiations. So here at the bottom, these are, it says beyond standard janitorial services. So these are just some items that they can do, where some of these companies were limited to just being able to do janitorial. So if it's a weekend and somebody kicks a hole, you know, in a wall, and I've got an event the next day, the cool thing is that janitorial or MCS actually has the ability to patch that for me, do whatever they need if our folks are not available. So it's not necessarily the idea that we will be using them for these additional maintenances or laundry or anything like that. It's just nice to have a company that has a large scope of services comparatively to the other companies who did not have those. In regards to window cleanings, those are the high bay windows, which do require a lift, and they will be need to be done, I would say, at least seasonally. As we learn the room, we'll figure out if that's more or less. With pollen, I mean, I've been wiping pollen off every single day. It's been wild over there. But we'll learn the space and see where that is and be in accordance to what the actual needs are. We're not just going to be cleaning the windows every quarter for no reason. So they have the ability in the crew to do those high window cleanings. That would not be done every day. So those prices we would have structured out in the actual agreement that you guys can approve of. Am I making sense there?
That makes sense, but I just didn't see no dollar marks here.
Oh, I absolutely understand.
And I thought we were bidding on a contract, so a contract's gotta have dollar marks.
You're absolutely right. Yes,
So-
sir. Yes, sir. And we will get all those together. This is more of just saying that they just have the capacity to do more, and they're still in the price range that we need for those services as add-ons. Let's see. So additionally here, I wanted to state that once we get into these negotiations, I don't like to go into more than 1 year with a new vendor. If I really can, I'll do 6 months. Their ability to work with us on pricing, and if they don't work out, we need to get rid of them. You know, getting tied into something beyond those time frames is a little rough. But as a new venue, we don't know what the space is going to look like. We don't know what a 150-person event is going to look like versus a public outdoor event. And so having that negotiation is super important in this process. The hourly rate structure is likely what we'll go with. We had a cleaning with a company on Saturday, just a one-time. and their time frame for that public event was about 3 hours. That's doing all the restrooms, mopping, details, kitchen, suites, all of that. So I think it'll be beneficial for us to do hourly based on.
How much staff did they use?
They only use 2.
So that's $46 an hour that we paid there?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll see what we need and how that ebbs and flows for these overnight and early morning cleans. Then we discussed, what was our next one? I apologize.
Well, the $300 per event for a
Yeah.
small.
So that was actually something that I suggested based off of what I've done in previous spaces like this. Sometimes what we're doing is that we're actually charging the client for the cleaning fee. I don't want to charge a client more than $300. It's a way to make sure that we are covering our costs with the events. So, but sometimes they're only going to be $150. You know what I mean? The cleans are going to vary, and so with the average throughout the year, this should be able to cover us when it's not only a $150 clean, but we are having our $300 cleaning fee. But then also when we have larger cleans that may go up to $450. So these rates are kind of based on a average throughout the year.
Now, you mentioned cleaning fee. Now, down here at the bottom of the page, it's got a recommended cleaning fee of $450.
That is what he has recommended.
Okay.
Not what we have agreed on.
You haven't agreed on that.
And that cleaning rate would be, we have 2,000 people walking through that building for over the course of 6 hours, all producing trash, all spilling their drinks, all doing all of those things. So you think of it almost as a scale more than this is what it's going to cost every single time. There's going to be times where it's not as much of a clean, and then there's going to be times where it's bigger. A wedding is going to obviously produce more trash than a small corporate luncheon.
Council, other questions?
Yes, sir. I'd like to recommend a 6-month trial period instead of a yearly.
Sure, I can do that. I agree.
Anyone else?
And I apologize. I also want to say that in whatever contract that we do, I want to make sure that there's a 30-day out for both of us. So if they decide that it's not a good fit for them, they can give us 30-day notice and we can go to another company. Or if we decide that we want to out, I want to make sure there's a clause to where that we can get out of it, even if it's 6 months or a year, to protect us.
Anyone else?
Reading here on the first page, it says MCS Services submitted the lowest bid.
Yeah.
Can I get a copy of the bids of the other 3?
Yes. Were those in the last one or no? I'm sorry. I didn't know if they were in the last meeting. So I'll make sure those get sent to you. No problem. Yeah, for their hourly rate, it was the lowest.
Any other questions?
No, I just like to remind everyone, we have found out lately in certain bids that the cheapest isn't always the best way
I
to
agree.
go.
Right. Yes.
So,
yeah.
the reason
Right.
I like to look at the dollar marks on it and see.
Yeah, and I will say that this particular company has experience with Tivoli Memorial, multiple commercial spaces in the Chattanooga area. I've known of them for over a decade, and they have really good work. I wouldn't come up here if they didn't.
Okay. The only question that I have was, are these janitorial services, are they going to be a pass-through? Or is that included in the rental rate? So this is absorbed by the city? Or is it a pass-through? So in other words, if it costs $450 or it costs $600 based upon the cleaning, is that absorbed in the rental fee that the vendor is paid, or is that passed through after the cleaning occurs to that vendor?
So we are getting a cleaning rate upon the rental.
Okay.
So for now, like Saturday's $2,800 with a $300 cleaning fee. All full days are $300 cleaning fee. Half days are $150.
Okay.
That's the only day we're doing half days is Monday through Thursday. So again, you're not looking at a major wedding usually happening.
Okay. That's just my concern. So if we're paying $450 for an event, we're in the whole $150 out of the gate.
No, sir, because what we're saying is it's an average, right?
An average. Okay.
An average of all of them. So we'll be covered at all times.
Okay.
I'm sure that pass-through is the correct term, but Diane can speak more to that. That's why I'm pausing. I apologize. It's because I want to make sure we use the right terminology.
The money will come in, it'll just come in as part of the rental fee.
Okay, that's what I was
And
asking.
so we will just, if it ends up being more, we would end up as a city absorbing the difference
Okay.
unless we go back. But yeah,
And what I mean by pass-through, it's actually the actual charge is charged to the vendor.
Yeah, it's not included in
Okay.
that. Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, what did
Yes,
you
sir.
say the rental was for a whole day?
For Saturday, it's at $2,800 for a 10-hour rental.
Plus the 300 cleanup fee?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Was the chili cook-off considered a large event, small event, medium-sized event? Because I noticed it was inside and outside.
Right. So, I know this is hard to explain. For me, yes, that is a large event. It has got a lot of folks coming into it. It is a public event. It has the capacity to become a large trash creator. It particularly, this event was not, in my opinion, a large clean, just because we didn't produce that much, and their team took care of a lot of it. So, it was good.
Yeah, I figured there's more trash outside than it would have been inside, but
Yeah, whatever the property as a whole, for sure, for sure. Yeah. It just wasn't as dirty as I thought it would be, is what I mean. Yeah, which is great.
So, yeah, so we'll need to amend this to enter into a negotiation.
And, I mean, really, I don't think we've had a motion on this yet.
We have not.
I think we've been to
So we
take
can
the
just
discussion.
make the motion.
Just make the motion, just
to-
a motion to
Okay.
authorize.
Good point.
with the change from 1 year to 6 months?
Well, I will
Yeah.
know in my,
Okay.
my negotiations will be instructed to this.
In the contract.
Provider here that it's gonna be limited to 6 months, 30-day early termination.
Okay, with that, if no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
So I'll make a motion to amend resolution 3802. To adopt. All right. This is why you got a lawyer up here, guys. All right. Make a motion to authorize the mayor and his designated to enter into a negotiation for a professional services agreement with MCS Facilities. That's it. That's my motion.
I second it.
We got a motion by Vice Mayor Tower and a second by Councilmember Witt to approve the entering into negotiation with MCS Facility Services. Do I have any discussion? Additional discussion?
Just making sure, this is just so you can talk to them and discuss it how it's gonna be.
That's right,
Gotcha.
Councilman. What I'll do is, once I'll get Ms. Villand, is we will negotiate an actual contract of one that the terms of which I understand would be acceptable, or at least I'm willing to bring to this body and present, consistent with what I see in the qualifications, as well as what I'm hearing from this body here and then. But yes,
I have one other question. Are they furnishing all the cleaning materials, garbage bags, or the city of East Ridge furnishing them?
They will have their own cleaning supplies, but we take care of our trash bags. That's something that we have to have in-house.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything else? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Izzo,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3802 approved. We'll move to item C, resolution number 3803. You're welcome. Thank you.
a resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the finance director to execute an engagement letter for auditing services for fiscal year 2025 through 2026.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Qualls.
I know, we just got finished, and we have to go ahead and set our contracts. State law requires that we go ahead and get the auditors in place. So this is their price for the upcoming year, and it did increase about $4,000 because they have to do the audit itself. Then, if there is a single audit, which honestly I figure there will be because of the ARPA and the fact that we have the community center one. So there would be at least one. And then the comptroller a few years ago, they made it where that they wanted everyone to use the chart of accounts that the county uses. Cities have much more account numbers, and so the auditors have to do what they call a crosswalk, and any of our numbers that are not county numbers have to be converted, and so the auditors do that for us. So it gets more every year.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3803.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3803.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I have one. Because I'm always in my chart of accounts and my budgets for my regular job. Is there a consideration of adopting the county's chart of accounts so we don't have to go through this?
Yeah, we have a lot of them the same, and we could do that if you direct us to, or direct whatever, then we would. It would just take us a little while to get everything transferred within the accounting software, but it can be done.
Yeah, that may be something we could see. Our new city manager's thoughts on adopting that.
I have the book.
First assignment.
So I had to ask. So yeah, so that's something that I wanted to bring up. Any other questions? See none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3803 approved. We'll move to resolution number 3804.
Resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the purchase of FB 3000 Hurricane stand-on blower through the Buyer Cooperative Purchasing Agreement.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Collins.
Yes. Hello, Mayor and Council. So now that we have our turf fields up and running, we, as the Parks and Rec Department, are requesting approval to purchase the FB 3000 Hurricane stand-on blower. This is a Ferris blower, and it works a little bit like our mowers, but you stand on it. When we started, again, researching turf, putting the turf down at the park, we started going to other complexes around us, Harrison Ball Fields for one, Dalton, I love you, Easel. Anyway, this will help us, again, as we maintain our athletic fields to where we're able to ride on there, get all the debris off of the fields, because after 2 tournaments, we're not selling sunflower seeds at the park anymore. We're not selling bubble gum. But guess what? That does not keep the coach from bringing them. Mm-hmm. So Monday we were out there with blowers for almost 3 hours trying to get those little sunflower seeds out of that turf. Ferris guy comes, does the demo, and it's gone. And that's what he did last week for us. So, with the permission of council, I'm asking, and this product or equipment was in our budget. I'm having a hard time talking tonight, sorry. And it will be purchased through our buy board contract, and it is $12,325.50.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3804.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3804.
Second.
A motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
So we already knew we were gonna have to have one, so that's how it made it into the budget. You'd already budgeted for it. Is that
Yes,
my
sir. I had
understanding?
already started preparing 3 years ago when we started talking turf and researching the things that we were going to need to do to protect our turf and make sure that we keep the longevity of it going.
Okay.
That was one of the things you told me to do, was research everything, so I did.
Anything else?
No.
Anyone? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3804 approved. We'll move to item E, resolution number 3805.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council memorializing an appointment by Mayor Williams to the East Ridge Board of Zoning Appeals.
Thanks, sir. So yes, it is an appointment for me for the Board of Zoning Appeals. So I would like to reappoint Stephen Leach to that position.
Second.
Any discussion?
Did you ever find out how many years he was on that?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yes, sir, I did. And he actually has served 37 years on the Board of Adjustment.
On the same board.
Same board. Just a little background on the gentleman. He has served 37 years on the zoning board. He is a 46-year resident. He has 31 years in Regional Planning Commission. He is 8 years administration of the Chattanooga Public Works. 45 years as a member of American Institute of Certified Planners. Proactively increases the knowledge of the zoning board members and related to zoning and related topics. And Mr. Howell, would you like to say anything regarding Mr. Leach with your work over many years?
Yes, so working with Steve, he's an incredible guy. He did help write the City of Eastridge ordinance in place right now. He's a good asset to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
I understand right, he's our WWTA
That's correct. He is
representative.
appointment for WWTA.
Well, I'd like to say how lucky we are to have this gentleman
Yes.
in East Ridge.
Yes, he is. We're lucky to have him. So, any other questions? See none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution 3805 approved. Thank you, everyone. We'll move to item F, discussion of tentative agenda for April 9th, 2026. We have no old business, but under new business, we have a public hearing for unnumbered resolution and then the resolution. And I'll let Mr. Litchford discuss this a little more in detail.
Yes, members, this is a matter that was before you last meeting. At the conclusion of it, Mr. Howell and I communicated, and it under the zoning ordinance relative to a hearing for a special permit for a short-term vacation rental, the applicant is entitled to a public hearing. And so what we will do really at the beginning of either we'll put it on the agenda, the next one, we will need to rescind the prior resolution that was resolution was never adopted, but what we'll do is rescind the action that was taken relative to that resolution. And then from there, this matter will be put on public hearing for the resolution relative to the property located at 188 John Arnold Avenue. And then at the conclusion of that, then there'll be this body will deliberate, have a new discussion, and make a finding and a vote relative to granting or denying the request for the short-term vacation rental.
So I believe that was resolution number 3793. So that's the one we need to rescind the action on?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Kyle, anything you'd like to add?
Mark covered it all, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Council, any questions? All right, then the next and last item on the tentative agenda is unnumbered resolution, a resolution of East Ridge City Council to approve a bid for a replacement of the community center lower roof. Ms. Giles.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The bids did open yesterday. They were a little all over the place. So Cameron and I, along with maintenance, Ray, we are going to start vetting the different companies. We had one, for instance, that came in at $29,000, and when I questioned him and he looked at his bid, he'd forgotten to put the materials in there. So he came in very low. All the other ones went from around $50,000 to about $79,000. One came in at $129,000, but they only put their bid sheet in there. They didn't include all the other requirements that we included or required within the bid. So today me and Cameron looked at them. I'm hoping that at the next council meeting I'll be able to present. But again, I want to make sure that who we hire is who we need to for this job on the lower bay roof.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, any questions? All right. That's the last item we have on the agenda, but is there any other business we need to consider for the agenda?
Forgot what my question was. I had a question for you and I forgot.
It happens.
I'll think of it when we adjourn.
I'm sorry, sir?
I said, I've got one question.
Yes, sir.
when he gets through.
He hadn't remembered it yet, so.
I'd just like to know the status of the de-winterizing the bathrooms at the playground. I don't know, so, whether, so they are ready? Yeah, well, they wasn't unlocked the other day, is the reason why I was asking. So I kinda ad-libbed a little bit, and I said, they hadn't unwinterized them yet, so. Okay.
Not yet?
I'll remember.
Okay.
When I read the minutes.
All right. All right, well, that is it. Thanks, everyone, for your attendance, and hope one of you has a good evening and great weekend. This meeting is adjourned.